Finally, you can easily access Amazon search volume data for the keywords which are relevant to your Amazon brand and products. In this video, you will learn all about the new Search Query Performance Report tool, and our guest Ritu Java from PPC Ninja will share tips on how to use it to analyze that data on impressions, clicks, add to cart, and purchases to optimize product pages and improve PPC campaigns. If you would like to try PPC Ninja, find the link below in the description.
Hello, Ritu. I'm very happy to have you back here on Orange Click channel to talk about Amazon advertising. And today our focus will be on how to analyze funnel performance by using Amazon Search Query Performance data. So before we go into that, could you first introduce yourself and also let us know what you do in the Amazon space and how PPC Ninja helps Amazon sellers?
Yeah, hi Lizette. So good to be here again. So my name is Ritu Java. I'm the CEO of PPC Ninja, and PPC Ninja is a software and services provider for Amazon advertising. So we help 6, 7, and 8-figure sellers with their Amazon ads as well as DSP, also Google Ads and Walmart ads. So that's, and I've been in this space for a while. My background goes back to being an Etsy seller, which I started 10 plus years ago. And I've been in the Amazon e-commerce space for about 6 to 7 years already, and cannot believe how quickly time flies here.
Yeah, but thanks to your experience and expertise, as I said before, we're really happy that you are joining me today again, because today we will focus something that is quite new still for Amazon sellers, and they always ask questions how they could leverage the data better, which Amazon now provides them. So I know you prepared some slides for us as well. So let's go ahead, share your screen, and let's dive straight into the data.
Yes, absolutely. So today we'll be talking about analyzing your funnel performance using Search Query Performance data. Now, Search Query Performance is relatively new, report from Amazon. It falls under the brand analytics collection of tools that Amazon has been putting together for almost a year now. Brand analytics used to be its own entity. As you guys all know what brand analytics looks like. I think we've also done another episode on brand analytics in the past. But now what's happened is that brand analytics includes a lot more. It also includes Search Query Performance and Catalog Performance. And these are two new ones that people are really excited about, because for the first time, Amazon is actually giving us search volume, which is amazing. Not only that, they give you search volume for the keywords that are relevant to your brand and to your ASINs. So let's dive in. So this is what the Search Query Performance report looks like. You can actually do a few different things with it. Like you can actually look at all the different funnel stages. So there's 4 funnel stages that they basically give you data on: the impressions, the clicks, the add to carts, and the purchases. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing you can do is you can look at the brand view for the whole brand, and you can look at the ASIN view. So you can select individual ASINs and look at the data for those ASINs. You can also change the reporting range, select the week that you want to pick, or a month, or a quarter. So that way you can get as much data as you like. And the recent addition to this Search Query Performance report is the downloads button, which actually allows you to download this information and then process it in other tools like Google Sheets or Excel. Now, why you need to download is because, this information here is just a snapshot, but generally snapshots are not as useful as trends. And you all know that in order to plot trends, you need like a period over period data. So you need like a week over week, a month over month to be able to see whether stuff is trending upwards or downwards. So it's generally for that reason that people download these reports so that they can then analyze them. Now, it would be very cool if Amazon could just provide us a graph right here and show us how our performance is on certain keywords, like week over week and so on. But unfortunately, right now, we don't have that in this, and they're still kind of improving it, and they're putting a lot more detail into this report. So let's look at what this report essentially has. Like I mentioned, there are 4 stages of the funnel that they give information on. So you get impressions data, you get clicks data, cart ads data, and purchases data. So the most important thing to note here is that they will give you a total count of whatever that funnel band was. Like if it's impressions, they'll give you total count of impressions. If it was add to carts, it'll give you total count of add carts. Then you get the brand count, which means how much of those impressions, for example, went to the brand, right? And then they will also give you a ratio, which is just what is the percentage of the brand share with respect to the total. So that's just something that you need to kind of understand and know, because that data is quite overwhelming. It's got so many columns that they don't even fit on one screen. You've got to horizontally scroll to the right to be able to see the whole picture. Let me just go back to the screenshot again. So as you can see here, you have search query score, search query volume, and then you have this first part of the funnel. Just note that these gray lines will be where one part of the funnel is separated from the other. So this data is just for search funnel impressions. This data is just for clicks and so on. So that way you can kind of separate it visually and look at it that way. Now, important to note is that they give you these 2 interesting extra details like search query score, and then they give you search query volume. Search query volume is very useful because so far we've been using other tools that give us some estimation of search volume, right? We all want to know what is the monthly search volume for a keyword. Well, this data is coming directly from Amazon. So it's way, 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 way more accurate and more powerful. So it's important to pay attention to this because that will give you an idea of like which are the most important keywords in Amazon's eyes. The other thing to note is that they also give you a search query score, which basically is a ranking of your search queries just within your brand. So they'll give you up to 1,000 queries for the brand view, which basically tells you that these are your top 1,000 most important search terms or keywords once you look at it from the advertising side of things. So now let's jump into the first thing, which is search query volume. Now, when you look at impressions, for example, which query originated that impression, right? Those are kind of mentioned. Those queries are mentioned in this view, so you get an idea of like, okay, how big is this space? Like, how much can I imagine how much impressions are there to get for each query? So that is really useful information to see how much is possible to gain. You can also look at all the definitions that they provide. They also give you like an extra metrics section where basically they describe all the metrics within search query performance. And now this is kind of interesting data, interesting information, but it can get confusing. So it's best to kind of keep it simple for now and just understand approximately what it means. So for example, here it says search query volume is now denormalized. What this means is that we do not remove duplicate queries issued within a day. This also means that if the same query is issued by the same customer session in a 24-hour time period more than once, we will include all of those instances in the total query volume. So this just basically says that, earlier they had normalized data, now they have denormalized data. And this change was made about 5 or 6 months ago. So you might see that the impressions are actually larger than you might imagine, because the same person might be searching for it twice, 3 times, 4 times, and all of those will be counted as impressions. Okay, so let's talk about the more practical stuff, because that is what I just shared was like just a description and also definitions that you can refer to from within the report. How do you use the search query performance report? So there's 3 ways we have been using this report. Number 1 is to understand your ad coverage for keywords. So keywords that I'm already winning and Amazon is noting them in the top 1,000 based on the search query score. and that are not currently being advertised. Those are important ones to pick up from this, and you can do a gap analysis, and I'll show you a way that we're using an internal report to come up with this gap analysis. I'll just show it to you in a minute. The second one is where you can, compare your purchase rate to the total purchase rate of the market and see whether you are doing better or worse. And that'll give you an idea of how strong your keyword is. Because if your purchase rate is higher than the market purchase rate, it just means that that's a strong keyword that you can go with confidence, and you can keep pushing on that. Another thing we use it for is finding out whether your sales contribution percentage is higher than your spend contribution, again, in terms of percentage. So I guess these are a lot of words that need to be explained. So let me just jump into the actual analyzer and show it to you. Now, this is an internal sheet. As I said, we do a lot of micro tools within our agency in order to help our clients. And I've kind of blacked out certain columns because it includes real data. So let me just show you what different components go into this analysis sheet. So number one, we pick up the sponsored brand search term impression share report. You can get this report from your Amazon advertising reports. If you go into Campaign Manager, Amazon advertising reports, you can download the search term impression share for sponsored brand. You can do the same for sponsored products as well. So when you have these two sheets downloaded, all you need to do is kind of go up here and upload it into this. And this is what the structure of the report looks like. They give you all these different metrics, click-through rate, spend, et cetera, ACoS, conversion rate, all the details for every single search term that you are relevant for and that you're targeting, so that that information can be ingested into this report. And then you upload the search query performance report again. So that search query performance report basically looks like this, right? Looks like this. And then we do some gap analysis. So the way we do that gap analysis is that we pick up data from all these three reports, and we create this gap analysis sheet, which can be done quite easily if you know some basic formulas using VLOOKUP, etc. So what you want to do is you want to see for each of the search queries that you have in the search query performance report, are you targeting them or not in sponsored products and sponsored brands? So this is basically just a formula using lookups. And so you can just reference these two reports and then create these checklists that can be easily filtered, and you can easily figure out, okay, these are the search terms that are not being advertised, so I can go and advertise these. And if you find out that the search volume of those search terms or keywords is pretty high, then you can even consider adding those to your title, your bullet points, etc. Because this is data that Amazon is giving you about the relevancy of your brand with respect to those keywords. So if Amazon already thinks that your brand is relevant for certain keywords, then why wouldn't you take those keywords and actually go strong on them, using them in your listing and in your advertising? So that's the way you would do the gap analysis. And then the second thing we want to see is the other comparison data, right? So here is another kind of sheet that we've created, looking at, for each search term, we're looking at the sales that are coming from that search term and the spend that's coming from that search term with respect to the total spend and the total sales. As you can see, we have built out this looking at important metrics like ACoS, sales and spend percentage. And these, color formatting that we've done here, this basically shows that we're spending the most on this one keyword on row number 2. And then, we're getting sales from the most sales from this keyword on row number 2. And the spend there is probably pretty low, like it's just 2.72. So this shows that this is a very strong keyword because, even though you're spending just a little bit, you are getting a lot out of it. Now, in most cases, this tends to be the case for branded keywords, right? You spend a little and you get a lot, right? However, you could exclude your branded keywords from this list by putting a filter on the customer search terms column and exclude the ones that are branded. And then you'll just be able to analyze the same thing, just looking at, the spend percentage and the sales percentage, and see where you have opportunities and where you're wasting your money. So to give you an example of money waste, here on row number 4, we're spending 7.49% of all our spend on this one keyword. However, we're only getting 4.5% of sales from that keyword. So definitely this looks like we're wasting something here. And you can also see that the ACoS confirms it, that the ACoS is pretty high here, right? And then the conversion rate also confirms it, that your conversion rate is pretty low. So all these data points align to tell you that this keyword is not a strong keyword for you. So don't push it, right? This is probably one that you want to really analyze to see if you can eliminate it, or if you can slowly build up relevancy for it instead of spending this much money, like 7% of the total amount. So another kind of interesting thing is that on the side here, we're also providing the sponsored product impression share rank and the impression share. So that is pretty handy to have when we're making decisions like this one on row 5 here, where we're seeing everything is looking terrible. Now the search, the impression share rank here is 2, and it means that you're the second most, the second largest of the total number of participants in this market, and you've got the second largest share of the pie at 18.67% of market share. So which isn't that much, right? It doesn't look like a whole lot. So definitely this looks like a struggling keyword from all angles. So by having these 2 columns on the side, both for sponsored products and sponsored brands, also gives you an idea of whether this is a strong keyword or a not so strong keyword. So yeah, we highly recommend, creating some sort of comparison mechanism like this, or there's a few other tools that other people have also kind of released for free. So you can look up search query performance reports, analysis, things like that. And so you'll be able to find a few that are already out there. But the idea today was to just introduce you to what search query performance data looks like and how you can use it in different ways. I'm sure you can come up with other creative ways also to look at your data. Now you just have to go and do it. That would be my recommendation. Like start downloading these reports and start putting them together and analyzing them. Even if you start with just a snapshot view of like one time period, like a month, it's valuable to do it this way, and combining data from other sources like the reports here from sponsored products and sponsored brands, and see what the picture looks like altogether. So hopefully that was useful. It's just a little bit. It's just a tip of the iceberg. There's so much more, and I know that as we go along, this report is going to get better and better. Already they're giving you additional information for downloads. For example, they're giving you the Amazon's Choice Badge data as well. So that's another kind of interesting thing that people are very excited about. So I guess I'm going to wind up here. Lisette, if there's any questions from your side, I'm happy to answer. But basically just wanted to give everybody a flavor of what this report is and how they can go in. Definitely you can go as deep as you like.
Thank you so much, Ritu, for this overview. I think on the one hand, it's very good that Amazon is giving out more data. On the other hand, it's creating a lot of more work for Amazon sellers, because I think the amount of data is just like enormous compared to what the sellers are used to having before, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just so much data. And it's exciting because, data is gold. Like literally everything that we do on Amazon is a database decision. And if we can get the ability to somehow analyze it and draw insights from it, then we only have to gain from it. Like, this is something that we all should be using in our business.
And generally speaking, what would you say, how often should sellers open this report and make the download? Like, what is kind of like general best practice right now? Just maybe even they are not doing anything yet so much with the data, but just kind of to have it, to download it, to maybe work on it a little bit in the future.
Yeah, and totally depends on what you're looking for, what you are seeking from this data. So for example, if you're just looking to see what your gaps are with keywords, right? It can be something you do like right away, and you'll cover most of the gaps, like 80 to 90% of the gaps you'll find out right away, and then you don't need to do it as often. Maybe you can do it in a couple months' time. That's fine. However, let's say someone wants to do an analysis of their top keywords month over month, or let's say week over week, then they will obviously need to do the downloads and the uploads to some sort of Google Sheets tool that with that same frequency, right? So again, it totally depends on what you're looking for, but I would say just start right away on something. Like, start using this data, start getting warm with it. You don't have to boil the ocean and do everything today, but just start somewhere and you'll get more ideas. The data will guide you. You'll be able to see some patterns, and then you might have a question. Okay, should I explore this more? And so that way you can kind of expand yourself out, try to build some tools internally, or try to use some of the free tools that are out there. And start using the insights from there, and that'll keep you going.
And hopefully videos like this also give some ideas how to kind of approach the data. And as you said, I think it's important to first kind of use it a little bit, because then also like the best questions come out, like what else should I learn or find out or learn more about? So yeah, that's definitely a good idea. About the report, does it include also PPC data? So when we see there, let's say some information about impressions, is it only organic, or is it combined with organic and PPC?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, I've been looking at the help data, and they don't say it clearly, but most people agree that it's organic data, doesn't include PPC. Plus, it also does not include searches that are happening on product detail pages and so on. This is mainly for search queries that people are actually typing into the search bar, and all the searches that happen from those search queries. Okay,
very good. So thanks again for sharing your expertise in that, and the things you have learned already by using this report for a while. Before we go for today, could you give us an overview of how sellers could work together with PPC Ninja, and how do you help Amazon sellers?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I mentioned earlier, we are a software and service provider. Our software is really great for agencies and for PPC managers who really love to slice and dice their data. They want to see all their data in one place. For example, if you want to see all of your keywords data in a single view, if you want to see all of your targets in a single view, if you want to see all your campaign placements in a single view, our software is amazing for that. We obviously also do bid automation, and we also help discover keywords, and our software is really great. And it's like, I would say it's great, I'm biased, but it's really solid. We've been around for quite a while, and we have our roots go back to a selling account. So we're not just tool creators. We originally were sellers, and our selling parent company is still in existence. It's a global 8-figure seller on Amazon. So what you'll see is basically the stuff that sellers actually need versus what some engineer thought up and created, right? So that's something about the software side of things. On the services side, we help manage other people's PPC, and we have solid SOPs that use our software and also use the creative side, the human side, right? So it's a coming together of ad tech plus human creativity to give you the best experience with your ads. And generally, we like to say that we are not only customer focused and customer centric, but we strive to make our customers into raving fans. That's the book that everybody in the company reads, and everybody follows the raving fans mindset. Like, how can I make my client delighted, not just satisfied? So if you guys want to work with us, we can always do a discovery call and share our strategies, and we also do like free PPC audits in the beginning. So definitely reach out to us, support@ppcninja.com, and our website is ppcninja.com.
Okay, we will link all of the websites and information also to the description. And yeah, if anybody is watching us and thinks this video was very helpful, then on OrangeClick channel, you will find more interviews done with Ritu, because I think you're also a fan of educating Amazon sellers, and we have made many good videos before that have been very warmly welcomed by the sellers. So thank you for sharing your knowledge. And yeah, thank you for today, and I hope to see you soon again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lizette. It was great being here.
I hope this video will help you to start using the Search Query Performance Report. And if you have any questions, leave them below in the comment section. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And now I would recommend you to watch other video where Ritu explains how to integrate Amazon advertising data into Google Sheets and Data Studio.